All right, once again, welcome to today's class. We are going to start immediately without wasting much of our time. I want to welcome everybody for today's class, especially those who are joining us newly to this cybersecurity training. You've come to the best training institute ever, the House of Creative Solutions. And I believe as you journey with us, you are going to learn a lot as well. As I've mentioned yesterday, I said the best graduating student is going to join one of our portfolio company. Try to be that person who is going to be one, because you are going to be doing internship and practicing what you've actually learned. However, there is also virtual internship, which you are going to do. Some of us at the beginners level have done internship with MasterCard, but there are other virtual internship that you can as well do, right? So today, for the purpose of record, we just want to do a glance of what we have done in the past and then kickstart what we have today immediately. So we started by talking about objectives and outcomes, foundation of cybersecurity, understanding security operations centers, and how to do home setup lab. And we go over to talk about certification paths and resources, which I mentioned to us different certification paths. Most importantly, what we are looking at from this training is certification part of ISC Square called CC. So that CC, we are going to register it, and all of us are going to be studying from that material and be well prepared to make sure that we pass the exams. And after that, you will be installing your Kali Linux, which we are going to use to do our practicals. In that note, I want to indulge each and every one of us here to make sure that we take this serious, pay attention, and always study, not only when we have the class that you will come to, you will open your laptop and be looking at the cybersecurity. Offline, after class, make sure you are also studying, because that is what is going to enhance your capabilities and give you more leverage towards everything that you are doing. All right. Having said that, we look at what is cybersecurity. If I ask you, what do you understand by cybersecurity? Who can answer that for me?
Okay, can I answer? Can
Go
I
ahead.
ask? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. I'll say cybersecurity is the effort to protect oneself, and apart from oneself, organization, group of people from being attacked. Like, yeah, from being attacked.
Okay. Any other person?
Yes, cybersecurity, yeah, is the practice of securing systems, networks, and organizational structures from digital attack, from external hackers and the likes.
Good. All right. So we've all said almost the same thing in different ways. So cybersecurity involves securing digital assets, protecting digital assets, protecting our network, our systems from digital attack. And it comprises of three backbones called CIA triad: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So these attacks are usually aimed at accessing, changing, or destroying sensitive information, extorting money from users, or interrupting the normal businesses of the organization. So in today's interconnected world, cybersecurity is critical to ensure the safety and security of our digital lives. That is why cybersecurity matters. One, it protects the data. Of course, for business continuity, so you don't have disruptions. For national security, that's why all these things matter. So once you understand this core concept in cybersecurity, the confidentiality, meaning that you have to ensure that the sensitive data is only accessible to those with the appropriate permission. For instance, if you want to log into your email, let it be only you or anybody you authorize that have the access, the credential to be able to log in. The same way, if you want to withdraw in ATM card, it is only you that knows your PIN or any other person you've authorized that will know your PIN. Confidentiality. Then integrity, maintaining the accuracy and completeness of that data. Using checksum or hash functions to ensure that a file has not been tampered. That's this upright, the integrity. Then availability. You have to make sure that that data and system are available when needed at all times. So these are the bedrock. And we have looked at the use cases of this CIA triad in the past. This is just to refresh our mind before we go into different domains that we have for this training. So consider a hospital patient's database. Confidentiality ensures that only doctors and authorized personnel can access patients' record. And the integrity ensures that that data that entered by one doctor isn't altered by anybody accidentally or maliciously. And that the availability is that you ensure that the database is accessible even during peak time or off time or emergency when it is needed. Now, you understand the threats and the vulnerabilities. What is a vulnerability? When you say somebody is vulnerable, it means that there is a flaw, there is a weakness to that personnel. So a vulnerability is a weakness or a flaw in an operating system, network, or application. So weak points in your computer or network that hackers can exploit, that's vulnerability. When you use weak password, some people will use pass 1234 as password or 1234567 as password. It's using weak password is like leaving your front door unlocked. Yes, you jam it, but there is nothing on that you use in locking it. When somebody just pushes the door, it opens. So a threat actor is someone who tries to exploit vulnerability to gain unauthorized access to data or system. That is threat actor. So security vulnerabilities can arise for many reasons, including misconfiguration, design flaw, outdated software versions. All these things can do what? Bring vulnerabilities. So basic security measures. What do we do to make sure that we have this in check? One, we have to use strong password. Can somebody tell me another thing we have to do?
Should do multi-factor authentication.
That's good. We have to do multi-factor authentication. Next person. Join the class.
I think like back it up with a Google Mail.
Okay, so now I have listed some vulnerabilities and I mentioned misconfiguration, design flaws, outdated software version. So what do you do to make sure these things I mentioned are checked in place? And when you look at outdated software version, what do? You do patch. You patch the software, update it. Updating the software is called patch. Okay? So you use strong password, you use two-factor authentication, So regular software updates keep software up to date with the latest patch to close vulnerabilities that will be exploited by hackers. You have to know some sites you don't click and download some things, because it will attack your systems with malware if it is a fictitious site. Now, we've done that basic refreshing our mind on those introductory parts. And we talked about security operation centers. What is security operation centers? We mentioned that this is a centralized unit that deals with security issues on an organizational and technical level. It's just like NOC, Network Operating Center. So it monitors the activities that happens in the security in the network of an organization. So their primary function of SOC is to monitor, detect, analyze, and respond to cybersecurity incidents using a combination of technology solutions and a strong set of processes. So the basic rules within a SOC, we have what everybody does, starting from the SOC analysts, incident responders, threat hunters, and co. And who is a SOC analyst? You need to pay attention to these terminologies, because in the ISC Square exams, you are going to see them. A SOC analyst monitor the network for suspicious activities and respond to alerts. So, who is incident responders? These are professionals. They manage the response to security incidents. When the SOC analyst sends the alert and say, oh, we have a breach, we are suspected breach, the incident responder is the person who is going to respond to those data breach or malware infection. Then threat hunters, they proactively search for vulnerabilities and potential threats that may not have been detected by automated systems. So they are the one hunting, just as their name involves, threat hunters. They hunt for those vulnerabilities and threats in the network. Any question from anybody? All right. So we also talked about the SOC tools and technologies being used. That's where we talk about SIEM tools, IDS, and IDPs. What is SIEM tools? Security Information and Event Management Tool. This is a technology that provides real-time analysis of security alerts generated by network hardware and applications. We've talked about Wazoo, Splunk, and so on. So you are going to learn how to configure Splunk and Wazoo, any of them. Then IDS to IDPs. IDS is intrusion detection system, while IPS is intrusion prevention system. If I ask you, among these two, which one do you think that is more powerful? IDS or IPS?
IPS.
Why?
IPS because it
Because it
prevents.
prevents they try to prevent the attack itself.
Good. I hope
And
others
detect-
are following. I hope others are following. So these systems monitors network traffic for malicious activities and take actions to prevent them. So IPS is proactive nature, while IDS is reactive in nature. That's why we said the proactiveness is better. So incident response is an organized strategic approach to detecting and managing cyber attacks in ways that minimize damage, recovery, time, and total cost. So detection, containment, eradication, recovery, and then lesson learned. All these things are what you will now go and look at. We have legal, ethical, and regulatory considerations. We have HIPAA, GDPR, that's Europe set standard. We have NIST, and a whole lot of these standards. So you are going to come across all of them. So your assignment is I need all of us to set out the regulatory bodies in Nigeria. As I mentioned, GDPR is for Europe, HIPAA, America, but that is for hospital data protection. So which body in Nigeria is the body for data protection? I will now need it in the next class. Our next class is going to be on Thursday, right? So let's go on to what we have for the day. Any question from that? Any question from anyone? All right. So in
I don't know. I don't know if this particular PDF, because I'm trying to check whether it's on that group, but I can't even.
No, it's not. I'm going to share it. And I'm also going to share the recording.
Okay, sir.
All right. So we start with domain 1, which is security principle. In ISC Square, we have different domains. Who can tell me how many domains we have?
5.
Okay, good. We have 5. Number 1 is security principle. Number 2 is business continuity, disaster recovery and incident response. Number 3 is access control concept. Number 4 is network security, while number 5 is security operations. These domains make up the 5 core domains in ISC Square certified in cybersecurity. These are what you are going to see in an exam. And we are going to start with domain 1, which is security principle. And in this domain 1, we have CIA triad. These are powerful core foundational of cybersecurity. Understand this, and you know you have known it all. 1, confidentiality. I have used case studies of hospital to explain the CIA triad. Is there anybody here who might want to use another case study to explain to the class the CIA triad based on what I have explained so far? Confidentiality, integrity, and availability. I use a customer record, you remember, to explain it. Is there any other thing? Anybody, can you come up with something to explain the CIA triad for us? Is it that we did not understand what it means?
Good morning, sir. I can just talk based on bits of experience, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
So if I'm to use, for instance, a financial institution as a case study. So based on confidentiality now, We're talking about protecting our customers here based on authentication and authorization. Authentication in sense of the identity, then authorization in sense of what they has access to their files. Then based on integrity, ensuring their information are accurate based on like their signatures, which is stated here, their digital signatures and their footprints, especially if we're going into crypto and blockchain and all that. Then availability, that's prevention of, we're talking about once a system that is highly available in the sense that there's minimal downtime. So all these downtimes, they are great. Some boast of 99.999%, some boast of 95%, in the sense of this calculated based on how many hours or minutes it experiences downtime in that particular year and all that. And failover system, DDoS, we're talking about distributed denial of service. That's prevention from external attacks and all that. So I believe that's it.
All right, thank you for that analogy. That explains it from financial institution. So what happens when a hacker access personal data, including account number, the person's transactional history, and all that? So customer lost trust and the bank face fine for violation or violating data protection law, GDPR. So confidentiality requires robust encryption, multi-factor authentication, and regular vulnerability assessments. That is confidentiality. Then some transaction logs were tampered with, leading to discrepancies in account reconciliation. This happened to one of the fintech that there is not adding up. So transactions are going on. Some are not showing in the database because there is glitch somewhere. Somebody will credit 1 naira and we withdraw 1 naira 2 times, which is 2 naira. And the second one, the person withdrew, is not found anywhere. So customer reported missing funds and the bank had to conduct a full audit to restore trust. So integrity demands secure login, checksum, and real-time monitoring to check unauthorized changes. That's integrity. The breach forced the bank to shut down its online services for 24 hours. Customers couldn't access their account. They can't make transfer, they can't pay bills, causing financial and reputational damage. So availability depends on redundancy, incident response plan, scalability, and infrastructural changes to make sure that you are up 24/7. That's availability. I hope it's clear to us now.
No, sir, please. I'm sorry. If you can come again, via explaining availability and also confidentiality.
Okay. I'm going to explain this to you. I'm going to explain it to everybody as a baby, right? Now, let's look at this. Imagine you have a secret cookie stack. You only want your mommy and your daddy to know where it is. If someone else finds it and eats your cookie, that's bad. So you hide it well and only tell people you trust. That is your mommy and your daddy. Because you know that your other siblings are going to do what? If they find out, they will eat it. That is what? Confidentiality. So you are keeping secrets safe. Is that understood?
Okay, yes.
Now,
Yes,
for
sir.
integrity, you build something, maybe like a toy tower. If someone sees it, excuse me, you build a building block, for instance, and you leave that building block. You know how we build our building blocks? You build it and leave it. So, no, if somebody comes to touch that building block, you are going to know. So, you want the building block to be the way you want it. You don't want anybody to touch it. So integrity means keeping things just the way they are supposed to be and no other way. No unauthorized person should come and move it anyhow. That is integrity. Are we together?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Then availability is when you are hungry, you want to eat, and food is always in the fridge. You go to the fridge to get the food, but the food is what? The fridge is locked. Or you cannot see the food. You open the fridge, you cannot see the food inside the fridge. You want, every time you want food, you just go to the fridge and you're able to see that the fridge can be opened and you get your food out. Or when you open the fridge, you will find your food inside the fridge. Availability is making sure that things are ready when you want them. Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we understand.
All right, so we can go on now. Because why I'm saying this is there are tools to confidentiality, which is encryption, access control, and authentication. So these tools make sure that shows that unauthorized individuals cannot access this data. So it makes sure that it's only your daddy and your mommy that can access the information. That is confidential. Now, integrity. There are tools like checksum, hashing, digital signatures that shows that this is authentic. This has integrity. It ensures that the information is accurate and unaltered. That's why some documents you will see inscription in front of it, confidential. You will see it that if you remove that digital signature, the integrity of that document is null and void. That's why some result, once you see any alteration, that result is null and void because it's no longer, it doesn't have integrity anymore. Then the tools we use for availability is redundancy, backup, failover system, and DDoS protection. Like as Chukwuemeka said, DDoS attack can make some data not to be available. So when you use the protection to counter it, it will be available. Then redundancy. If one fails, the other one picks up. Most organizations use two internets, especially high productive environments. Like when I was with IBM in Zane, we do that. We use fiber, we use radio. The same thing in Bloomberg. They were using only fiber and we were having issues. When I joined them as the IT manager, I have to bring in fiber. So we now have redundancy, fiber, and radio. So that is what availability means. You must be up 2/24/7. Then backup. Backup means that if anything happens to your other data, you have a backup you can use to replace it. We back up our systems, daily backups and weekly backup, then monthly backup. And of course, we test the backup system to make sure that whenever we need this backup, it will respond. Failover systems. You can configure your system to failover, and that is what we did at Bloomberg. Because it's a media station, you cannot afford to go offline. So you won't even notice when one switch to the other because it's configured to failover. Availability. So there is no way you can be asked question on these three things, even if it's this the only thing you learned for today. It's very, very important that you understand them. Any question on them? All right, good. So we move on to authentication, authorization, and accounting. We often see these things, right? We often see three of them: authentication, authorization, and accounting. What does it mean? AAA. Authentication, authorization, and accounting. Authentication is who are you? Authentication, you people often hear it. Oh, this system authenticates me before I log in. It's the process of verifying who you are, user's identity. When you log in into your email, you enter a username and a password. So password, biometric, smart card, multi-factor authentication, the goal is to ensure only legitimate users gain access. That is authentication. Who are you? Authorization. What are you allowed to do? The authority. Who gives you that authority? What kind of authority? What kind of level of this thing do you have? Once authenticated, the system checks what action the user is permitted to perform. That is authorization. You can read your email, but you can't access the admin dashboard unless you are an admin. That brings us to role-based access control, policies and permission. So it limits access based on user role or privileges. It authorizes you to only access what you are privileged to access. Accounting. What did you do